I don't want to talk to you.
Why not?
I'll tell you that because I don't like you. Get away from me.
Is this how you treat the young
This
boys?
is how I treat you.
Tonight, the year-long 2020 investigation that led to this unbelievable parking lot meltdown. A man accused of keeping teenagers almost imprisoned.
I can't stop seeing their faces, hearing the screams, hearing the crying.
The now abandoned camp where their parents put them
These are the isolation booths.
to change their sexuality.
I'm going to beat the gay demon out of you.
Camps trying to pray away the gay.
Going against the Word of God.
But tonight, the teen who managed to escape, the retired cop who helped expose a nightmare,
They should never have to suffer like this.
It's just about showing up.
and TV star Jeremy Jordan coming to the rescue of his gay cousin, speaking out tonight against even nonviolent programs.
They were taking drastic measures and putting her away for being gay.
Good evening, I'm Elizabeth Vargas.
And I'm David Muir. Tonight here, our 2020 cameras going undercover to investigate the extremely controversial use of gay conversion therapy, banned for use by licensed therapists with minors in 5 states, with efforts going on right now in 20 other states to also ban it.
And what our Brian Ross discovered were camp counselors using the cloak of God and religion to get away with what many see as outright abuse, emotional and physical. So let us know what you think on Facebook and Twitter as we take you into a hidden world.
In 3/4 of a mile, turn left onto County Road 87.
I know we talked on the phone previously.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know that my main concern is that my son believes he's a homosexual.
Take a slight left turn onto Brewer Road.
We found what we were looking for down a county road in Alabama, the Blessed Hope Boys Academy.
Where's Brother Gary? Brother Gary. Okay, thank you.
A place where a Christian pastor will tell our 2020 undercover investigators that with a Bible and sometimes a belt, he knows how to deal with teenagers who consider themselves gay.
So nice to meet you.
It's going against the Word of God. It is not biblically right.
It is just one of a number of places discovered by ABC News in a year-long investigation, some operating with brutality and others with just therapy, practicing a notion denounced by leading medical groups that gay teens can choose to change their sexuality.
For every camp like this, there are 100 more that nobody knows about, that nobody's exposing on TV.
Including one place run by men who call themselves Christian pastors with a track record of cruelty.
These are not religious people. These are people that are using religion as a weapon against these kids for further abuse.
The first leads in our investigation came months earlier from 2 gay teens who say they had been held against their will in so-called Christian camps or academies. One, a 16-year-old boy who arrived in New York on a late-night bus, Lucas Greenfield, telling us he had just escaped from one of the camps in the South.
How you feeling? Tired? Really tired?
And the other teen, 17-year-old Sarah Jabert from a small town in Texas, who was sent to a Christian boarding school for counseling 1 week after she defied her parents and went to the high school prom with her girlfriend.
Their beliefs told them that people who were gay would go to hell, and so I think that the thought of their own daughter not being with them in heaven was probably upsetting to them.
In the case of Lucas Greenfield, he was uprooted from Naples, Florida, which became his home after he was adopted at the age of 3. Lucas was raised in what he calls a Christian home, but he says he increasingly came to know he was gay, to his mother's great distress.
Because she wanted me to change into more of like what she wanted me to be, which was very Christian, very religious, almost like a perfect kid.
Lucas trying to find a place where he could be accepted as gay, and Sarah declaring her affection for a girlfriend in Texas. Both had to face what many gay teens find, a religious parent who cannot deal with their child's sexuality.
It's this fear, it's all motivated by fear of somehow disappointing God.
Susan Cottrell is the mother of a gay daughter. She works with other Christian parents to help them accept their children as they are.
They send them to camps hoping to outsource the problem of their kids and get help for their kid not to be gay.
Lucas's mother would not agree to appear in our report, but told us on the phone she was only trying to help her son.
She eventually was like, you know what, you're going to a program.
The first program where Lucas was sent was located outside Mobile, Alabama, in the town of Pritchard. It called itself the Restoration Youth Academy, surrounded by barbed wire.
Since I've been here at this program, I've come closer to God and my family.
For the outside world, the academy used testimonials to promote itself as a place for troubled youth of all kinds to turn their lives around with prayer and the Bible.
And God also intervened in our life, like really, really dramatically.
Now closed, other teens sent here, both gay and straight, say it was a place of torture and abuse carried out by the so-called Christian pastor who ran the boys' facility.
He claimed to be a straight homophobe, and he said that he would cast out every homosexual spirit in every single homosexual male and female.
Galen Wheeler, one of the non-gay troubled teens, says he was a witness to how Lucas and other boys who were gay were treated.
They would try to preach to him about how homosexuality was a sin and everything, and if that didn't get through to him, then they would resort to alternative methods, as they called it. Isolation, beatings, getting whipped with a belt.
I can't stop seeing their faces, hearing the screams, hearing the crying. That's why I don't sleep at night.
Lucas was only 13 years old when he says his mother left him here in the hands of the pastor, whose brutality would emerge once she left.
He asked her, he's like, Mrs. Hughes, do you mind if we spank your kid? And you know what she said? Beat his ass.
And did that happen?
Oh yeah, it happened.
Even worse, Lucas says, were these so-called isolation rooms where he and others were left for long stretches of time.
I only got let out about once a day to go to the bathroom, and sometimes they wouldn't feed you the 3 meals they were supposed to. So
this is worse than any prison in this country.
Oh, yeah. Prisons have laws and things they have to follow. This place, it was unlicensed. Nobody really knew it existed.
But it turns out someone did know it existed. This Pritchard police captain, Charles Kennedy, who drove out here after a call from the concerned parents of another boy and discovered what he would call pure evil.
But I thought, my God, he is here. Lucifer is here doing business in our city with these children.
450 miles away, outside Hallsville, Texas, this is where Sarah Jabert says she was also being held against her will, a Christian facility that claims it helps gay teens. Like Lucas, Sarah felt powerless to resist what her parents had arranged.
I was kind of in shock for a minute, and then I started yelling at them, and I told them that they couldn't do this.
But they did, and she says she was told she would be kept here for a full year. Unaware that someone was about to come to her rescue, her own personal superhero, her cousin and TV star Jeremy Jordan, outraged that Sarah and other gay teens are sent away like this.
You're telling them we don't accept who you are, and we want to cleanse the world of your kind.
The TV star and his effort to rescue his lesbian teen cousin.
I don't want to talk to you.
The brutal pastor in Alabama who beat the teens under his control.
That's how I treat you.
And Lucas's daring escape to help bring down his abusers when we return.
Once again, Brian Ross.
At night, locked into a Christian camp for troubled youth in Alabama, sometimes in shackles and handcuffs, Lucas Greenfield could hear the train whistles in the distance and dream of escape.
There's a train really close to there that actually goes to California. Thought thought safety, thought hope, but thought impossible. I would have done anything to get out of there. Anybody would have.
Lucas says he imagined himself as a character in some escape movie, like Steve McQueen's Great Escape from a Nazi prisoner of war camp.
I'm gonna really miss you boys.
Like Ice Cube, escaping to fight corrupt politicians. But that was Hollywood, and the reality for Lucas was bleak, even as the train whistles beckoned.
Every freaking night, it was really kind of depressing because we never made it out.
1 year after we first met him, a lost teen sent away and punished for being gay, Lucas was now 17, a young man with a new look, but still struggling to get over what he had been through.
It robbed me of my childhood. Most people don't come back from stuff like that. Every day I try to become better, but it almost is like impossible.
But what kept Lucas going, he says, was a determination to do something about the so-called Christian pastors he said physically abused him here, especially this one, William Knott, feared by the children for his quick temper and special leather belts for whippings.
He had names for the belts. One of them was Judy, one of them was Sugar Mama.
Karen Baser was a counselor at the camp who says she quit when she saw the sadistic abuse by Knott and others.
Will Knott is a sadist.
You think so?
I know so. Anybody that has names for their belts to whip children with their bare bottoms is a sadist.
Everybody was scared of him because they were afraid that if you don't listen to him, he's going to beat you. And it gets worse every time. Going in isolation and beaten and everything else. Because they were assumed to be gay.
Gay was a sin?
Gay is a sin, gay is evil, gay is the worst abomination to God, gay is horrible.
Knott refused our request to talk about the allegations, so we tracked him down, catching up with him in a restaurant parking lot, where we saw for ourselves how this Christian pastor reacts to someone he does not like.
I don't want to talk to you.
Why not?
I'll tell you that because I don't like you. Get away from me.
Is this how you treat the young boys?
That's how I treat you. Get away from me.
And is this how you treat the young boys?
Get away from me, sir.
Court documents obtained by 2020 show that before Knott came to Alabama, he was accused in a lawsuit of what a judge called medieval torture at another Christian boys' academy for troubled youth, this one in Mississippi, including reports he used an electric cattle prod.
You don't have a right to do this.
I have a right to ask you a question, sir. I want to ask you.
No, you don't if I deny.
What did you do to those young boys?
Knott did not know it at the time we met him, but he was about to be taken down, and it would be with the help of Lucas Greenfield that it happened. So you were thinking, I'll